Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anita and
Dario,
where we inspire you to.
live your life.
Let's just see if we can set this up a little bit more.
Good morning to everyone. We have an hour ahead of that, right?
Yeah. So we're here in Aruba. Living the Mediterranean lifestyle from anywhere is basically saying that we're living the 8 principles that we believe in. And so today's live will be approximately half an hour. If we don't get to everything we want to get to, we will do another one tomorrow or Sunday. So we'll reach out to you and tell you, because today we're going to talk about where you can find us and where you can find our most recent what's happening. Right. And then we're going to get into some questions and answers that you have, and also talk a little bit about what's been happening over the last month or so since we did our last live in Portugal. So I guess
was that a long time ago?
Yeah. Wow. So last time we did in Portugal, we were in this beautiful 1-bedroom place right in the in Albufeira.
In Algarve, yeah, a beautiful spot. Nice. And month of November with 25 degrees, which was beautiful. We couldn't complain with that.
Yeah. So today we've rented an Airbnb for the first part of the stay. It's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll give a tour. We'll send some pictures exactly what's here, but we'll talk more about Aruba after. I wanted to get into some details because people are saying, you know, we want to find out what's happening and where you're at, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily commute where you're doing and what's happening. So I wanted to get into some of those details first. So we're Anita and Dario, and the best place to find Anita and Dario's adventures is our newsletter. So I'll tell you why, because there's so many things that we do. Yeah. We have a YouTube channel and Anita and Dario's Adventures, but we also do cooking classes. We have juicing. We have our Fridge Feast series. There's so many other things there that we do. The newsletter gives it all. Yeah. It tells you what we're doing, what's happening. It gives you details on what's going on. Also, we have a lot of specials that are on. Like there's one that is an eSIM card for traveling, which is something I want to talk to you about later too. And there's a special offer if you go into the newsletter, which is great. You know, I'll get into more of that later, but you have special offers in our newsletters. That's the best place to go. And where you would go to that is oliveyourlife.org. So oliveyourlife.org. And in there, you can see all the details about our retreats, the details about our recipes that we have available, about our international dinner club. All that is there. So then you will see stuff for newsletter. Or even if you try and leave the website, it pops up for you. And that's going to be the best place to see everything that we do and be able to follow us. Because other areas, there's little snippets here and there. The second is in YouTube. And the one where we're most direct is shorts. And I don't know if you know what shorts are. This is something that we discovered in Italy, I think, when we were in Calabria. I think Tropea, we did our first short.
We just discovered it, and all of a sudden we started doing it, and it was kind of a quick way to show where we were and what was the moments of what we were. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And we had 70 gigs of data for our phones. It was easy just to come in, and they're sort of similar to a short 1-minute video that TikTok does, or what's the other one? Or Instagram. Like they have these short little snippets. So the short is where we are just in time. We add things almost every day, exactly what we're doing. So those are the 2 best places to go to find out what's happening, what we're doing. Our newsletter is great because it gives us lots of tips, what we're doing, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, because I can't say everything's always gone 100%. And so it's interesting. We don't want you to run into those same kind of problems, right?
Well, I mean, it's about when you travel and when you discover new places. This is part of one of the principles we always say about living a Mediterranean lifestyle from anywhere. Discover is part of one of the biggest things, because you're learning as you go. And you're learning through food, travel, and experiences. And the experiences is what really brings you to where you are and to become a little bit more comfortable. You know, every time you get to a place, there is the unknown part. But when you get to and you look into a YouTube channel or through a newsletter, you really see our experiences. Then we navigate as we go. But like Anita was saying, some are fantastic, phenomenal, and some just takes a little bit of work, but eventually you get there. If you are a bit more of an adventurous, you want to take a little bit of chances and discover. Really, you discover the most incredible thing. I mean, here where we are now, even in Aruba, we try. I mean, no, we try. We are close enough to potentially the tourist spot. And if you get off a little bit, like 5-10 minutes, and you just discover some most incredible spots. Food, then I was, because obviously for me it's an exciting part, and a knowledge. I learn as I go. I learn new things that I can share with you guys, new things that I can share with my students, new things that I can share with everyone. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're a bit adventurous, if you got a bit of passion, it's just, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah. He always has this passion the way he speaks. I say something, and then Dario comes out, and it's just so eloquent.
I always say one thing, and I said all the time, and it's funny. We had some friends of us from Boston that just left, and he says, "No, you're obsessed." I said, "I'm passionate." And there is a big difference, because I always say, if you get up in the morning and you don't have that passion, then you can give to someone else. Obviously, you need to have that full tank of passion. Before you put your left or your right foot down the ground, you need to have that passion. If not, go back to bed. And just spend the day. Just don't worry until you regain that passion. It's an important part to really being alive or really discovering things. And for me, as a cook, I like to say cook because chef it's where you become. I'm really passionate, and I like to share it with you guys. I like to share with the young women and men that I have on my group of students, because that's the future. That's the future. If you all work together to really create something with a little bit of energy, better for everyone. Potentially could become contagious.
So yeah, we've got 8 principles to the Mediterranean lifestyle, and we do them while we're here. So like Dario said, we walk everywhere. We are going to rent a car for a portion of it, but I find you see things in a different light. We have Airbnb. We love to use Airbnbs, and we're going to be moving, I think it's on Sunday, to another place, just because we like to experience different things and be able to get around the island. It is a very safe island too.
Yeah, super
but
safe.
we have some questions, and so I was just looking on the phone to make sure we're live, and it looks like we are. Love to be able to see any questions that come through, but we do have a lot of questions that people are asking. So whatever we don't manage to get to, we will follow up, because we will put this into the newsletter as well with some of the special offers that are available, like that cell card. That's going to be good. So people have been asking certain questions, and they seem to be some repeat, and they keep asking, how do you pack for such a long time?
Well, that's actually it's always the big question, and every single time when me and Anita talk about, if we go away for a week, we are away for 3 months, 4 months, or whatever. In this case, right now, because also we have to this is not a vacation. I mean, this is work. I mean, there is culinary events we have to do. There is events that we have to attend in different parts. We have to think what is important and what it isn't. So don't think because we've been traveling so much and when we go back home, it's easy for us to pack and unpack. No, it's not. Ideally, what we always say, one suitcase to carry on. Doesn't always happen. Doesn't always happen. And then you realize then, oh my God, I need these things, or I don't need these things. So what we do, we really focus on the most important thing that we need. Okay, we always try to figure out. Anita Samsonite just give you this wonderful bag, and it's always all compartmentalized. How you say? Compartmentalized, and you kind of know the things that you need. Okay, do you need to dress up on yourself? Not really. I mean, there is stuff that you can actually wear. You pack whatever you need. For myself, if I have to do a chef event, it is one or two maybe jackets that we need to get on one side. But most of it, you try to keep yourself to the minimum. Okay, and if you have too much stuff, the potentially you find halfway through your trip, experience told us, ship it back home.
Yeah.
You ship it back home. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we found ourselves, we were in Italy, and we were moving to a place, because remember, when we were in Europe for 4 months, we really were going through the seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we arrived there, was 38 degrees, and then it stayed all the way to 25, 26, and then it kind of dropped down when we went to the south of Spain. And a lot of the stuff, like shorts, bathing suit, the stuff like that, you might don't need it. Send it back.
It's funny because as a woman, you want to pack more. I know I've done the Camino Trail where I've done it by backpack, but it's almost impossible for us to be able to do it by backpack because we're working as we're traveling. So, for my business, I need to have my work, my computer, and details. We need to have the right clothes. Mind you, we don't dress up that often, but when we do, we have to. Like this T-shirt right now, it is Uniqlo. We've loved the Uniqlo stuff. So Uniqlo has their cooling, and this is their cooling, and it has their heat.
Heat tech.
Yeah, heat tech. And we've really liked their clothes. We've been able to, when we get into cold weather, we layer, of course. And with this heat tech has really been able to keep us warm. When we were in London, England, it was quite crazy. I learned a hard lesson when I left the airport last time, and my skincare that I bought in France, they had, or in Italy, sorry, I had the bag. It didn't fit fully in the bag. I had another bag, and I ended up having to give up part of that. And it was an expensive, unfortunate circumstance that happened. And we found that in London and Toronto. And we've been in places where 1 minute you go in and they're not strict, the next minute they are. So it's always good to be prepared. And I would have rather have put them in my main suitcase, but because unfortunately we're having some things get lost, we've had Dario's suitcase twice got lost. No, mine too, back in Toronto. So we have these air tags that have been helping us out with that as well. That has been wonderful. So we knew when we got back to one airport that our luggage wasn't there. So we didn't have to wait in the turnstile. We went directly to the desk and said, our luggage is not here. It is still back where we were. And so it was easy for us to do. Samsonite, as Dario mentioned, gave me this really nice, large suitcase. At first, I was kind of iffy because the way it opens up, one half has a zipper and the other doesn't. It has a crossover. So what was happening was I'd open it up and everything would fall out. Now I'm used to it and I love it because it's so lightweight. It's a hard cover. Maybe I'll put a link or I'll add it in our newsletter, actually, the suitcase and what it looks like. I ended up getting a cover over it, so it's been really, really good, and I can put a lot of stuff in it, so I've been very happy. The only thing, I don't know how we're going to put this in there. What do you think of this hat, actually? I think it's too big. No?
I like it.
The Italian flag. So these kind of things sort of come up. So I was so wonderful that a friend of ours that we met in Aruba bought the hats. We got the Italian flag. And
it was an interesting story because this is a Sicilian family. And they live in Aruba. And all the product, all the clothing and all that comes from Sicily. So they spend 2 or 3 months in Sicily. They reserve, they produce it, they get all that, and then they bring it all into Aruba. So it's a small little kiosk that's this fantastic, fantastic stuff, which I absolutely love.
It's really, I loved all their stuff. It's very unique, and I'm so grateful that Tina got that for me. It's very, very pretty. And of course, if you know anything about me, you know I love to have my hats because I need to stay out the sun. As you see me, I'm more white, and you see him more dark.
Like this?
Jeez, crazy. Anyway, so that's with packing. If you have any other questions, I don't see anything in here, but if you have any other questions, and maybe we're missing some questions that are coming through, so we will answer them for sure for you later.
Another thing is people say, obviously we are food and lifestyle brand, so discovering and learning food is a big part, and And for personally for myself, this year is a year of rediscover, reinvigorate myself into um, new ideas. I always said, and I always believed since the start my career, that I never stop learning, and I am excited about that because it gives me an opportunity to bring something back, to share something back. And I'm invigorated. I mean,
Yeah.
I get to places, I meet incredible chefs, I meet homemakers, then they really inspire you with their culture, with their ideas. Then sometimes you say, "Oh my God, I've never even known about that products." Then they just showcase to you in a simple way because we always complicate our life, and even as chefs,
I'm gonna
sometimes
get some of this moringa.
we try to overdo things, and it's just you want to put an extra ingredients. Not wherever we go, even we're in Portugal, Spain, even in Italy, in the south of Italy, we were down in Modica. Modica is the famous area of chocolate. Okay, the Mercato in Ballarò in Palermo, where you actually walk into the market, everybody's screaming and shouting. They make freshly cut in front of you. Um, you want pomegranate juice? Here we go, the guy's cleaning a pomegranate and he's making fresh pomegranate juice for product. They are just kept simple. Why? Because they're wonderful. And even when we are here in Aruba, and I always fight with this thing, not fight, but I always say, why don't you showcase more of your product? Because whatever country I'm going, we always are looking for what is the country showing.
But you know what? That's part of what we call the Mediterranean lifestyle, not a diet. And it's being, like Dario said, adventurous and trying. And that's the thing is, I think a lot of people, they don't. They want to come to a destination and get that exact same chicken parm that they had before. And that's what happens is you're not exploring and trying new cuisines. And part of that is being young, being active, trying new things. And that's one of the principles. I mean, stress free. You know, we're down by the beach, we're meditating every day.
Right.
And trying new things is part of that as well, right? And travel allows you to do that. And that's where you've had some really exciting experiences.
Well, there was this young man, actually, we had two young men that we met. And this is the inspiration. The inspiration comes from anyone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's what really gives you the energy. One was in Lecce. It was this young man, then graduated from the school, then, you know, I collaborated with in Italy and graduated from there. His father had 2 or 3 restaurants in Lecce. If you ever have a chance, Lecce is a gorgeous city to see. And after he finished the school, he done his culinary experience and then came back home
Mm-hmm.
and showcased the traditional cuisine of that ancient cuisine. And it was the most phenomenal meal we ever had.
Mm-hmm.
In Spain, same idea. We met another young man, really super passionate.
You went to Malaga?
In Malaga.
Malaga, yeah.
And you could see a small little kitchen, him and a young lady in the kitchen, place absolutely packed. And the food was simple, but incredible. This is what inspires you to really say, product is first, and everything else becomes super simple. And that what I always kind of know, but I is reiterate exactly what my thought. And I'm excited. Even here in Aruba, you go to little places in the middle of nowhere, and you get these incredible experiences.
And it's interesting, as we talk, we're inspiring you for this, and we're giving you a little bit of details, but the full details in the actual restaurants you'll find in our newsletter.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's why I say it's always the best place to go over there, because you'll have all your tips, your actual places to go, and all the details there that relate eventually to a blog. It's interesting because we're talking about products and made me think about, so there's something called moringa that I've been wanting to get, and it was actually in Costa Rica, and I think it was on Zach Efron's show originally in Costa Rica. And they were saying it's something, it's a tree that you actually do, and it replaces your coffee. So here it grows naturally. I finally got more details on it. It gives 7 times more vitamin C. It gives you 7 times more vitamin C than oranges, potassium. So it's, it's wonderful. So this is the flower of it. And what happens is you add that to your water and it tastes like cucumber, supposedly.
Yeah,
so this is for your cold water that you would add it to. And this is the leaf. It's very, very tiny, actually. But if you end up looking at moringa, you can tell. That's sort of what the leaf. You can steep that in tea.
Fantastic.
And it's similar to a coffee. So it gives you natural energy. And it just grows on the trees here, right outside where we are. I find that so fascinating to find these natural resources that you can use just in your everyday. And that is part of exploring and finding new things as well, which I think is so neat. We're always looking for healthy things.
And aside, we're in the land of aloe here, aloe tree and aloe drinks. Just outside of our place over here, there is a bunch of aloe plants. There is so much stuff that you discover as you go, health benefit. Then you can kind of incorporate it into your tank. And we always say that this one is our tank. We want to make sure our tank is full with good stuff, not bad stuff. So it's really inspiring. We are rediscovering Aruba. We've both been in Aruba in the past, but I think it's so many new things than you see that you maybe missed in the past than you rediscover now.
Mm-hmm. And I want to give a little peek to outside how sunny it is. Look at that. It's spectacular. And we're actually next to and we'll take some videos. It's just hard for us to speak with all the noise that's going on around. And so we figured it's better to do it inside. We did the exact same thing in Portugal. So we can get the details out. And then if you go over to our shorts, you're going to be able to see the videos that are available. I got myself off track. What were we talking about?
You're never off track. What are you talking about?
Okay, so I'm going to go back to questions because that's what I know I have in my head.
Yeah.
People were asking about the retreat, and the retreat is sold out for 2023, and then we're releasing for 2024. So email us if you're interested. We've got Italy on the block. We've got Tuscany, Amalfi, Sicily that we're offering, and Puglia. Yeah. So we've got those 4 retreats that are. So if you have an interest in going to Italy, then reach over. But we're sold out for this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's just
because people have been sending messages and it hasn't always been getting through. So I wanted to make sure that you know.
And the reason why is because, we could extend it really, but we don't want to have too many people, so you don't give that experience is necessary.
Yeah.
And it's important to have a small group. Then you can really spend time like a family.
Yeah.
It's almost like you travel with your new extended family and give them an experience. If you have too many, that experience is gone. So we might try to say no for now, and we'll see you later because it's better, isn't it?
Yeah. In September, we were in Tuscany, so we had an amazing time. 2 villas with pools. We went all over. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. What happens in Tuscany stays in Tuscany.
Well, it was interesting because the way we closed our tour, it was kind of last minute thing in Rome before everybody actually took back to their homes, and I need to organize this, and I didn't even know it as an Italian. This
it's actually a friend of mine that I brought it up.
It was what do you call it?
A golf cart.
Golf cart tour at night in Rome.
Yeah.
And golf carts are small. You
Get
can go in a little street. It was fantastic. Yeah. Even for a person like me, that I'm Italian, and I felt I knew everything. I didn't.
Thanks, Lisa, for the tip, by the way.
Yeah.
So that was one of the other questions. Oh my gosh, we had so many others that came out, and I can't remember right now what they were. Anyway, if you have any more questions, add them in there, and maybe we'll be answering some. Oh yeah, there was about the SIM card. That was the other one. Oh. So when we travel, when we travel, if you are traveling and you end up doing your provider extended care, it gets to be very, very expensive. So in Italy, we have a SIM card that because we go every year anyway for our retreats, and we go for Dario bringing the chefs with the post-diploma program for chefs. And so it's easy for us there. So it's easy to be able to. We have it with Wind. It's $9 or €9 for 70 gigabytes, and you'll find we do more videos there. And it goes throughout Europe, so we're lucky there. But sometimes you end up in a place that you're not able to do that. I know in Costa Rica we ended up having a pay-as-you-go plan. And it's really important to put yourself on airplane mode as often as you can, because as your phone updates, it will take data. And you don't want that to happen. So pay as you go, what you do is you try if Wi-Fi somewhere. If you go to a restaurant or a coffee place, you can get some Wi-Fi, and it's easy to do so that you don't use up all that data very quickly. We ran into a situation in Costa Rica where I was putting myself on airplane mode, Dario was using it, and then his time went up much quicker than mine. So you have to keep that in mind when you do. We stumbled across, so actually, again, thank you, Ava, for helping us and giving us this detailed information. And it's for this company that's an eSIM card. And we will send you in the newsletter the details, because we also have, I think it's $3 off if you use a certain code. So you get $3 off if you use this. And it's already, you use your SIM card. You don't have to take one in, one out. It's so simple. They have a video that shows you what you turn on, what you turn off.
Brilliant.
Again, make sure it's in airplane mode and you're in good Wi-Fi when you do it. And it's very easy. So in Aruba right now is costing us $9 for 1 week, which is really a good price considering in Canada, it's 15 Canadian plus tax. So it's around $20 a day that it would cost you. This is $9 a day, and this is $9 for a week. Again, it's not the same kind of gigabytes you'd get at home for this, but for the time you need it, it's very good. And because we walk around a lot, we are walking everywhere here. We're doing what,
25,000 steps.
25,000 steps a day normally. We get our backpacks on. Dario's is usually much heavier than mine. And we pack, we put our bathing suits on. We have to change of clothes in there because we don't know how long we're going to be gone for. We planned for the day. So we don't want to be in a spot where, we need help or something happens. Mind you, it's really, really safe here in Aruba. We're really lucky. It's really a wonderful place that we have here. You looked at me like you were going to say something.
No, I mean, the SIM card was actually probably the most easiest thing to do, because, I mean, when you are in the Caribbean, many times you really need to use your phone. You shouldn't be using your phone as much as possible. But for us, I mean, we are working. We got stuff we have to do. We have to be prepared for some of the events we need to do, a recipe and preparation that we need to do for stuff. So we need, unless we are here on Wi-Fi, if we are walking, we really need that. But this is just a simple thing you can actually imagine, available on your fingertip, 5 minutes, you're done.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think we have to sign off. We're actually looking at homes today to see what's available out there in Aruba, because it is a very beautiful island. If you have any questions, we will be putting this live link in our newsletter, and with that, we will add the links to. I guess maybe I'll have Angela add the suitcase, the link for the
for the SIM card.
For the SIM card, so you have all those details for when you're traveling next. And again, we're open to any questions. We'll probably sign on again in Aruba, and yeah.
It is exciting to be alive.
Yes.
Isn't it? So keep be adventurous. That's what we talk about it. And do not forget, there's more life if you're passionate.
How lucky that I get to hang out with this guy for so long, eh? Isn't it great? Anyway, and have a wonderful day, and we're here for any questions if you have any.
Ciao.
Ciao for now.